So it's a very cold, snowy day here in Toronto on a Saturday, relaxing day. So I woke up thinking I would spend some time organizing my music. My alias PJMixer kind of comes from my days making audio cassettes, mixtapes, mixing those, and obviously that's all changed with iTunes and digital music, and for many years I took a lot of time organizing my music into elaborate playlists, and over the last few years I kind of got away from that, but I am trying to get organized again. So I thought this is the first time I'm doing a video showing my desktop. I am recording my face and the audio just on my iPhone, and I'll combine those later. So this is iTunes, the newer music app. Looks a little different, but what I'll show today is roughly the same. I typically look at my catalog through the songs view. Date added is normally how I order these things, so I can see most recent first. You can of course order it by artist or by genre, but there is another way that many people may not know. I'll go back to that date added view, and if you actually are in this view, you can go column browser. So you can change these columns. These are the ones I typically use, and the first two are the most useful, I think, of organizing the catalog by genre, and then artists within that genre. Genre you'll get from downloading the song. You can always change those genres into something that's more meaningful to you. So here there's a genre called folk, rock, and singer-songwriter. So it's a pretty broad category, but it kind of means something to the way I organize my music. So this is a way to subset and kind of narrow into what you're looking for when you're creating playlists or playing music. You can see that there are quite a lot. There's 81 genres here. I didn't create 81. Many of those are created by simply how the songs get downloaded, with the genres defined by the artist or by Apple. So I oftentimes consolidate these. So I'll pick one where you can see here that some of these are misnamed. Hip hop and rap. Hip hop and rap is my genre, but you can see some others that have kind of crept in here. So you could tidy those up. And one way of doing that, all of the songs in this, if I just do a shift and then click at the end, or a control A, and you do a control shift here, get info, I can change all of these to the right genre. So I can put in here hip hop and rap, for instance, right? So those songs now have simplified the genres for me. So I see those artists now in this list, and we've got rid of one of those genres. The next thing I'm going to do here in iTunes is to show you some of the more complex ways of creating smart playlists. So one thing that people may not know is you can group your playlist by a playlist folder. So you can see here we've got some family members here, or I can have unfortunately it doesn't allow you to reorganize these easily, so you can see some artificial naming here to make sure these ones appear first. When we create a new smart playlist, okay, so let's start working on this. So let's say I'm looking for songs that have a higher than 2 rating. So let's go one step further here, and I'll just show, if I was using that grouping, I could say that I want this playlist to not include mellow songs, for instance, right? So I'm going to change this to Saturday Snow Test, just so I can find it. And actually one other change I'm going to make here. So the thing that's unusual here is, if you've done any kind of smart playlist creation in the past, this looks like it's all or nothing. It's saying that all of these things have to be true for a song to appear in this list. but you can actually get advanced, if you like, with combining ands and ors into these playlists. So I don't know if it's that well documented, but if you hit the option button here, you can see that that plus changes to a ... So this allows me to click here and actually add a subcategory where I can say any. So the rating, iCloud status, and grouping all have to be true. But this grouping, let's say of artists, say Kasabian, oops, let's go back, I did that rule, and we add another artist to this. So now I'm seeing songs from both these artists, Kasabian and Kinds of Chiefs, that are greater than 2, are part of Apple Music. Their grouping is not mellow, so they're upbeat songs, or they are empty in that classification. So I'm combining here and categories with an or category. So that may be a little trick that some of you have not seen before, but as you're creating more complex playlists, that may be very, very helpful. So that's it for today. So a few hours later, and as you can see, the genres now, all my genres in iTunes are down to 22 that are much more suited to the way I categorize music. When I think of music in the morning, brunch, or during the day, or then, appetizers, dinner, I'm thinking of, those times where I'm using music to accompany a party, a dinner party, friends. But if I just pick one, for instance, and look at the 8 rules, you can see that they're quite complex. Again, these are good examples of things I was talking about earlier. But you can see that obviously I'm picking higher rated tracks, I'm picking upbeat tracks, I'm looking for specific genres like R&B and soul, adding some favorite artists like Jamiroquai that I love in that kind of cocktail hour. So those genres help me construct what music suits me different times of the day. So if you look at brunch, you'll see very different content because it's mostly based on, well, actually this one, it brings up an interesting point. This playlist is built on another playlist called Morning Genres, which you can't really do in the latest versions, but you could manually do this. So if I look at Morning Genres over here, you'll see that those are things that are not dance music. They're not R&B. I don't think of brunch as an R&B time of day. I think of it more as folk rock kind of music. So I exclude certain things that I don't want to hear in the morning. So that's why I spend so much time putting things into these genres that are more meaningful to me, so I can pick the music that suits the day. And quite a lot of people have said that over many years, in terms of coming here and coming to our home and having music in the background, and my dad in particular has always said that I managed to find the right tone, the right music mix for the right occasion. So thanks, Dad. What I've done today really is do the cleanup of the genres. As I'm doing that, I'm finding things I've forgotten about. So I usually create a kind of fresh finds playlist, and I kind of dump things in there as I come across them while I'm organizing. It's so easy to forget about good music. So while I'm doing this cleanup, I typically create a playlist that captures some of those things. The playlist that we use on a day-to-day basis is like radio, PJMixer, if you like. If you look at this one, it's reasonably simple in terms of specific genres I'm excluding that I don't want to hear on a regular basis. So Christmas, holiday, voice memos, classical, for instance. And then there is a few artists that between my wife and I, we don't want to hear on a regular basis, so we exclude those, and actually exclude some broader genres as well that are not, for both of us throughout the entire day. I'm not sure how big your libraries are. Over the years, this has been ongoing for many years since iTunes was introduced. So of course, the library is very large. So bringing it down to a manageable size for me helps find the music I love. It does take time. It is helpful to rate music rather than just bring it all in. It is helpful to star things or heart them. If you can go as far as grouping them into mellow or upbeat, maybe that will help with certain moods of the day, and getting them to a specific genre that means something to you, rather than just taking the default that comes down. So they're kind of my tips, I guess, in terms of working with iTunes and the music app. Hope this is something helpful, and love to hear your feedback. Thanks. Happy Saturday.